Hello and welcome to this video. Today's video is about something I have never worked on before, namely a winch from an overhead crane that I have acquired a couple of years ago. Namely this winch. It's a Atlas Copco half-ton overhead crane winch. And the thing with this one is that it's all air operated. There is no electrics in this. It's controlled and driven by shop air. So you have this controller here. It only has two buttons. It's up and down. And as you can see here, there are only air leads here. There are no electrical connections. It's only hoses going in and out. And that's how this one is operated with air. Air is coming in through the main inlet here. And that's all. You put shop air to it and then you drive it. It has this pretty hefty chain with a hook, swiveling hook like this. And then you have the controller and you have the air hose. That's all, and it's just hanging on the crane with this loop here. The information I have about this one, or the backstory, is that the shop that had this had it hanging on an overhead crane. And then they did some rebuilding, but they decided they don't need the crane anymore. They got some other kind of solution for moving things, and this was placed in a metal workshop. So they lifted metal plates and things from the lathe and so on, heavy things that they wasn't able to move by hand or something. I don't know exactly, but something like that. But anyway, they wanted to take the crane down, so they took the crane down and they put the things in storage, cold storage. They had them there for a couple of years. They tried to sell them, and they found a buyer that wanted to buy the crane, but he didn't want the winch because the winch was air operated. He wanted an electric winch. So he ended up buying the crane, but not buying the winch. So the winch was left in storage for a couple of more years. The company decided that they don't want to have this anymore, and nobody bought it, so they were about to throw it away. And a good friend of mine contacted me and said, the company wants to get rid of a winch. It's free. Do you want it? And of course I said, yeah, I want it. Is it working? Yeah, it works, but it leaks, he said. So that's what I know about it. It works, but it leaks. We will test that and see exactly what happens, but it should be able to lift, but it's leaking air somewhere. So I went there, I got it, and I put it in storage for additional years. But today I think it's the day I'm gonna dig into this and see what I'm able to find out and what I'm able to repair. So that's the story behind it. But what I know about this so far is mostly what I'm been told, and that's that the main air is going in through this half-inch connection here, and this part of the winch is the air control part. So air goes in there. Some air goes up through one hose here to the controller, up to here. And when you push either up or down, air goes through one of the other. There are three hoses, so one is air in. And if you push on up, it goes up through one hose. If you push down, it goes up through another hose. And those hoses goes down to this part. Here is two hoses. One is for up and one is for down. So this controls the up and down motion and it goes down to this part. And down here is the motor part. So the main of the air coming in through the main inlet here is going down to the motor and driving the motor. A part of the air is going up to the controller and then back to this part and controls the direction of the motor. That's what I have been told. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I've been told. We will probably find it out. And the air part, air control part, is this part of the winch. The other side here, that's the mechanical part of the winch, the gearbox side. So there is an shaft going from the air side here, from the air motor over to this side to a gearbox, and then to another shaft going back in the middle where you have a sprocket that actually drives this chain. So that's what I've been told. That's what I know about it, because that's what I've been told about it. I don't know if it's correct. I hope to find that out. But the main goal on this one is to find out what's leaking, since it's supposed to be working. We will find out if it's working. I will try to find out what's the cause of the leak, and try to repair that. And when the air leak is repaired, this should be a complete, fully working unit. We have to see if I tear more into it. I'm pretty curious about knowing how exactly this works. So probably I will be tearing more into it, but I'm not promising that at this stage. We will concentrate on this air leak problem at first, and then we will see what we will find deeper inside, if we feel the need for that. So what we will do here now is that we will try to test this one. We will put air to it and see what it's doing, and try to hear where it's leaking. That's the first step. So let's start with that. Okay then, now I have it connected to air, and now we will actually try to see what it does. Let's go up. Yep, it goes up. It goes down. So he wasn't lying. It's working. But I don't know if you can hear it, but I certainly can hear it. Right there. There is something. There is a leak. Something is hissing in this area here. I don't exactly know what. I will spray some actually, yeah, it seems to be around there somewhere. So this might actually be a simple one. Very simple one. If it's only the adapters that leak, then we have a real winner here. I will try to see if I can find another connection to put there. That would help if it is the connector here, or not connector but this adapter. That should do the trick. Let's do that. Oh, I had to move the unit to the workbench here, because it's a pretty hefty thing working with, so you can't turn it and twist it. So it makes it very hard to film when it's hanging. But the news is that it wasn't the inlet. I found the leak. The leak is here, in this region. I don't know if it's between these two or if it's around this one. That's very hard to say, if the air is coming from the coupling down here out like that, or if it's coming around this one out. But either way, I believe I have to take this one off. If you're lucky, there's an O-ring here. Might be bad, needs to be changed. If there is nothing here, then the leak is coming from in between here. And that's a whole other story. I don't even know how to get that one off. I have no clue how that's mounted on here. So here we go. That was easy. It released. Now I see that there is some kind of, and I believe this is a what you call it, release air outlet or something like that. I'm not sure, but anyway, let's see if we can. No, it won't tilt. It really won't tilt. Can we see something? No, not really. And then this part will screw off. Twist off, sorry, like this. And come out. Then you can separate it right here. In this area here. By releasing these 4 screws. And it will separate here. And that will give access to the inside of this. And then it's up to me to find something that's leaking inside of here. So I will try to figure out how I'm gonna get these hoses off here, because what I can feel is really nothing. I have no clue how they are attached, because right now I can't see that side. So I will figure that out, and I will probably be back with me taking them off when I know how to get them off. Okay? So I have it turned around here, and there is some nuts or something like on here. So yeah, that released. Is it twisting also, or can I? Well, this will be a problem. How long is it? Will I break it before it releases? Seems to be fairly long. Yeah, very long. Oh shit. There is some tension on this now. Come on. There. It didn't break. So this is, what should I call it? The lower one? Or should I call it the upper one? It's actually more in that way, so I believe that's the upper one then. Yeah, that will have to be the upper one. The problem here is actually, how am I supposed to get to that one? And it's, what's it called, receded down in a hole. How am I gonna get a tool on that? There's no way. Yeah, this is pretty much super stupid. Do I have to? It's loose. It's no problem turning it. I can turn it by hand like this. But there's no swivel down there. So the hose needs to turn also. I can only turn it a little bit. Like that. And then I can't hold it. in that position. It wants to go back. Well, this will take some time, so I will spare you the agony of watching me trying to get that one off, because this will take me some time, but for you it probably will only take a second or two. Yeah, I've been at this for a good 10 minutes now, and I have done no progress at all. I'm only turning it a bit and it goes back. I'm turning it a bit and goes back. It's leaning against. It seems as I have to take all this apart. No, I don't. When I think about it now, if I could get this one off here, that seems a little. No, that's not easy at all. It's also recessed down. Then I could release this one, and then I could turn the package, or what you should call it. No, I don't really know how I'm supposed to do this. I guess I just have to keep trying. So I will keep trying, and I will report back when I have any kind of progress. So, here we have it. This seems to be an piston. This is like the cylinder bar here. I don't know how much you can see of that actually here, but it seems fairly nice in here. Seems to be in good condition. Do I have to take this cover off? Yeah, I probably do. So let's see what's okay. Here we actually have just a crank. So I have to make a little bit more closer inspection here to this part, and just take it off carefully so I can see the inside. Okay, now I get it. This sleeve here actually stays like that. It doesn't go deeper than that. And if you look down there, you see there are two holes. This is the actual piston. It looks the same here and the same here, and that's because when air is pressing on this side of the piston, it's going down. Air that's coming from the bottom hole here is going inside of this sleeve, entering this area and pushing this up. So there is only one seal, and it's this seal that's doing all the sealing on the top here. Conclusion here, I will put some air on here, because now I'm pretty certain that the problem is in this one. There's a leakage in the valves here. That's what's making the leakage down here. It leaks here, but the leak is coming from here. I'm pretty sure. Okay then. Before we begin, I will say that, okay, you can call me an idiot. I should have tested this from the beginning. But also remember, I have never done any work on anything like this before. So this is the first for me, and you are finding out as I'm finding out. of that. So air is coming in here, and when the pressure gets high enough, it starts letting air out. Bleeding, we could say, air out from here. So the part to attack will actually be the valves in here, because that's the culprit. So I will put this back together, and then I will attack the handle here, because there is the problem. Here is no problem. We can actually put everything back. So I will do that. I do a time lapse of this. Back up on its little stand, and it's time to test. And the first thing, I have already connected my air over here, so it's already connected and it's quiet. There is no leaking. I only hear my shop heater in the background. There is no hissing. So that is a big improvement. Now we will also test the functions to see if it's moving. So here we go. Yeah, you see, it works just fine. There comes the hook. So 100%, it's 100% better. That's what I'm trying to say. We have fixed the problem and it's working just fine. And I can also see and hear that it's much faster. Okay, that's all I have for this video. I want to end this video with thanking you for watching my videos, and perhaps you should consider subscribing and hitting that bell button up there so you get notified on my next release. With that, I want to thank you for your time, and I sincerely hope to see you in the next one. Bye!
You got me open and I keep bleeding, I keep bleeding, love. I keep bleeding, I keep